deep dive on the aosu SolarCam D1, a battery-powered camera system that is completely powered by a solar panel that's on the top of each camera. And at the end of the video, I'll be giving away a brand new camera system just like this to one of you guys. Let's get started. This video is sponsored by aosu, so thank you very much to them for sending these out. So firstly, they did send me the 4-pack of this system, meaning that it came with 4 solar-powered cameras, some mounting hardware, and a home base. And as you can see, these cameras are pretty big, but that is kind of the norm for cameras like this that can pan 360 degrees. Setting these cameras up is actually really simple. The first thing that you want to do is take the home base and plug it into power and Ethernet to get a wired internet connection. You do have to turn each camera on individually by opening the little waterproof section at the bottom and holding the power button.
Hello.
Once you do that, you can download the aosu app. It'll take you through a few prompts and you make an account. And within just a few minutes, you can have all of these cameras connected and ready to go. Installation on these was surprisingly simple too. There's actually a mounting bracket that connects to the end of each camera, so you don't have to put the whole camera up while you're installing it. You just take the little mounting bracket off of the camera, install it wherever you want to using those 3 provided screws and anchors if needed. And once the base is on, you can just click your camera into place. Now let's go into the features of this camera system. First and foremost, and something that's really important to me when I'm looking for security cameras for my house, is making sure that there are no subscription fees. I just hate it when companies require you to pay a monthly fee for features that you thought you already paid for when you bought the camera. And with this aosu system, as long as you have the home base, there are no subscription fees at all. And that includes things like human detection and 24/7 continuous local storage. This is because the home base is basically the brains of the operation. It actually has 32 gigabytes of storage built into it to allow for that continuous recording, and it just overlaps itself as it goes on. I love the fact that this is stored locally too. You do not have to worry about any of your footage or data being sent up into the cloud. It's all accessing your local home base. That does also mean that if one of your cameras were to get lost or damaged or anything of that nature, all of your data is still secure because it's stored on the home base inside the home. Another nice feature of the home base is that you do not have to individually connect these cameras to your internet. Like I said, the home base has an Ethernet connection and the cameras connect directly to the home base, so you do not have to put them on your Wi-Fi. Now outside of the home base, the cameras themselves have a lot of nice features too. They can pan in a full circle 360 degrees and they can tilt up and down 90 degrees. And basically what that means is that you have a lot of versatility in where you can place this camera, because even if the field of view isn't quite big enough to cover everything in your yard, you can still place it in a good spot and not have to worry about having blind spots because it can just pan and tilt to wherever it needs to. These cameras can automatically track movement, and I tested this. It works very well. I walked around the yard and it was able to keep track of me no matter where I went, close or far from the camera or to left and right. It did a really good job at tracking me automatically. Now aosu says that these cameras only need 3 hours of sunlight during the day to stay powered too. So that's another big consideration, and actually one of my favorite features about this camera is that you basically never have to worry about them turning off. They aren't hardwired, so they have the versatility of most battery powered cameras in that you can basically place them wherever you want to, but they also do not have the drawbacks of most battery powered cameras in that you have to replace the batteries pretty frequently. So this really is the best of both worlds, and in my experience, these cameras never had any issues with maintaining battery. And the footage that you get from these cameras is in 2K resolution, so it looks really good. You can zoom in on it and still maintain a lot of details, and it still looks good at night too. They do have 2 different modes you can put them in for night, so you can just use the regular night vision, which does look pretty good, or you can use the 4 built-in LEDs to get color night vision. Now these LEDs were very bright. I tested these out as well, and the color night vision looked really good too. Overall, the footage that I got from these cameras really did impress me, day or night. Now let me show you what all you can do with the aosu app. As you'd expect, you can use the app for all of the features that you'd expect from any smart camera, like live viewing or video playback. As you're live viewing, you can press the little record button to record whatever you're looking at directly to your camera roll. And the same is with the screenshot button. You press that and it'll take a picture of your live view. Now, I did also want to mention that when you're viewing the footage live, there's basically no latency. And that really impressed me because I've tried out a lot of smart cameras, both battery powered and hardwired, and they all do have a little bit of latency. I mean, that's to be expected when you're over the internet, but I think because this is connected directly to the home base, the latency is basically nothing. You can see things as they happen in real time, and it gives you a very easy way to control the camera as well, because of course the camera doesn't just track automatically, you can also control it manually. There are little buttons that you can press in the app to turn it right, left, up, or down, but since there's no latency, it makes it very easy to control. I've had a few different pan and tilt cameras that do have that same feature, but it's a lot harder to fine tune and to control the camera because of the latency. You're not really sure when to stop pressing the button. This wasn't an issue at all with these ones. However, there's actually an even easier way to control how you point this camera. You can have the camera automatically create a panorama view of whatever it's looking at, basically meaning you press the button below the live view, it'll automatically turn itself fully left and right to get a panoramic view of your yard and then show you a little screenshot of what that looks like. Now, once that's created, you can just tap your finger on anywhere on that panorama and the camera will automatically move to look at it. This is such a great feature because even with low latency, using the arrow keys to move the camera can be kind of tedious and hard to do properly, but having the ability to just press on a picture of exactly where you want it to look is a much easier way to do it, and it works really well. Now, of course, the cameras do also have two-way audio, so you can communicate through them if you need to talk to someone that's on the camera.
This is what the two-way audio sounds like.
If you don't feel like talking, there are also some quick options that you can press where you can basically have the camera speak for you.
Please put the package at the door. Thank you. Hey, what are you doing here? Please get out of here now!
Plus, there is also a voice changer, which you can press when you're talking through the camera to distort your voice to make it not sound like yourself.
This is the distorted two-way audio.
Which is a great feature for security because you might not want people to know what you sound like when you're talking to them, especially if it's someone you don't know. And actually on that point, you also have an alarm feature on this camera. So if you see something or someone that's somewhere that they shouldn't be, you can press this alarm button and it makes a very loud siren tone, which will scare anything away. There is one more feature that I saved for last because I think it's probably my favorite feature on this entire camera system. It's the multicam view. Pressing this little button at the top of the app, you can view up to 4 camera feeds at the exact same time, which basically gives you a little security dashboard on your phone or tablet. And the reason I say that this feature is probably my favorite is because, like I said, I've had a lot of security cameras, and this is something that I've always wanted to be able to do, but none of the cameras that I've tested have had this as an option. So to have the ability to view 2 to 4 feeds at the same time is a game changer for me. And just to be clear, these aren't snapshots or things that are updated every few seconds. These are actual live feeds of each camera at the exact same time on one screen. It's nice too because you can actually tap each camera feed to do certain functions. Instead of going into them individually, you can view them all at the same time, but still have access to record, take a snapshot, or talk through the cameras by just tapping on them and using the dashboard. I used to have a Eufy security system at my previous house, which at the time was the favorite camera system that I had run into, but this was the one feature that was missing for me, and I love the fact that I'm able to do this with these aosu cameras. Overall, I was honestly really impressed by this camera system. Like I said before, I used to have a Eufy camera system, which I mainly got because, just like this camera, there were not any subscription fees. Now, I was really happy with that camera system. I loved the quality of the footage and all the features that it had. And this aosu system basically shares all of the things that I loved about my previous camera system. However, my previous camera system was wired cameras, so I did have to run extension cords, which was very inconvenient to try to get them up in high enough spots where it made sense to watch my house fully. So the fact that these aosu cameras are solar powered is a very nice feature because I do not have to worry about that anymore, and it makes them very easy to install. install. Plus it has even more features like the ability to pan and tilt, the built-in AI human detection, and that panorama option, which made it very easy to control. So even though these cameras are a bit on the bulkier side, they are well worth it in my opinion because of all the added functionality that gets you. If you're interested in checking these out, I'll have them linked below, and aosu actually let me know that these cameras will be going on sale for Prime Day. So the normal price of $509 is actually going to be going down to just $420, which is a great price in my opinion. Now let's talk about the giveaway. So aosu actually gave me one extra D1 classic camera kit to give away to one of you guys. Entering this is gonna be really simple. I'm just gonna ask you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below that includes your Instagram handle, and then follow my Instagram at WyattTech. In 2 weeks, I will select a winner at random, and I'll finalize everything via Instagram and a direct message. Now, I don't really have spam bots in my comments as of yet, but just in case they do show up, please ignore anything in the comments that's telling you that you won. The winner will only be contacted via Instagram. Thank you again to aosu for sponsoring this video and for giving away one of these camera systems to you guys, and thank you so much for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.